Let's begin this newscast with all the latest coming in on the informal summit that's all set to take place between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Xi Jinping of China, as Chinese President Xi Jinping is all expected to visit Mahabalipuram near Chennai in the second week of October. This will be the second informal summit between the Chinese President and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The summit is scheduled to take place between October 11th to 13th. India and China have been planning a second summit from earlier this year, and the visit has made Pakistan desperate to meet the Chinese president for bilateral talks. Now, Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan is also all set to visit China on October 8th, just ahead of Xi's India visit. This could be Khan's third visit to China after coming back to power in August last year. So this is the latest that we are bringing to you at this hour, as Imran Khan is all set to visit China just ahead of Xi Jinping's visit to India on between October 10th and 13th. As we all informed you earlier that Xi Jinping will be visiting Mahabalipuram near Chennai during the second week of October. For more details, let's quickly go across to our diplomatic correspondent Siddhant Sibal, who's joining us live from the newsroom. Siddhant, what can we expect, first of all, from this meet that is expected to host Prime Minister Imran Khan of Pakistan? He's making this visit just ahead of Xi Jinping's visit to India. What can we expect to emerge during the meeting between these two heads of state?
Well, when it comes to Pakistan and China, we know the relationship. The relationship is of a colony and a colonizer, and we know that Pakistani economy is not doing well. That is why the Pakistani Prime Minister has been going around to the world community, whether it's IMF, whether it's UAE or China, hoping that there will be a bailout. But when it comes to China, we know the massive connectivity project which China is building in Pakistan that passes through a region which is under Pakistani occupation and is Indian territory. That has been a point of contention which India has reminded to Beijing many times, but the Pakistani Prime Minister hoping that Kashmir will be in the focus when the meeting happens in India, but that's not going to happen because we know that the Chinese Foreign Ministry has said that the main focus will be on relationship between the two countries, between China and India, and not clearly Kashmir.
All right, but Siddhant, it's interesting what you just mentioned, China's foreign minister speaking. You know, that Beijing has been an all-weather ally to Islamabad is no secret. And going by what the foreign minister of China had to say at the UNGA session on Friday, does it seem like Imran Khan's visit could actually cast a shadow over Xi Jinping's informal summit with Prime Minister Modi?
Well, first, let's understand what is in an informal summit. Informal summit, the first of which happened in the backdrop of the Doklam crisis between India and China, and both sides then decided that they need to have a mechanism so that there is no future Doklams which happen, and that is why both the leaders gave a strategic guidance to their armies and made sure that there is no repetition. And now the second informal summit is going to take place, and this is going to make sure that the momentum continues, the disputes do not become differences. Of course, now talking about Pakistani Prime Minister's visit, he would be keen that Kashmir is raised. He would be keen that somehow the entire summit focuses on Kashmir. That is not going to happen. Clearly, we saw what the Pakistani Prime Minister got during his visit to UNGA. There was no traction on Kashmir, and there will be no traction when the leaders of India and China sit together, because they know the focus clearly is on continuation of the momentum from 2018.
Absolutely. Very rightly said that, you know, the focus remains on gaining more momentum as far as the bilateral relationship is concerned, because it's also important to talk about how India is actually playing that tricky balance when it comes to its bilateral relationship with China, because what happened yesterday was also a very warm gesture coming in from the armies of both the sides, because let's not forget it was China Day, and India and the Chinese army actually raised a toast to friendship, and of course that also makes a statement in itself. Don't don't you think so? And the fact that Mahabalipuram is also getting a facelift just to, have a warm welcome for the Chinese president, that in itself goes on to say that India is doing its best when it comes to maintaining its friendship with China.
Well, in fact, Akanksha, the Prime Minister of India took to the Chinese social media and congratulated China yesterday. He said that there are civilizational links between India and China. And if we compare India's relationship with China and Pakistan's relationship with China, India offers a destination for investment, a country with which the Chinese can talk in equal terms. While Pakistan is a country which is facing a lot of issues when it comes to economics, and it's not clearly a country where anyone would like to invest, especially the Chinese investors. Of course, we know that connectivity plan is there, but that's primarily Chinese focus, and Chinese are keen to get themselves connected, especially the western part with West Asia. So there are differences, and when it comes to India, China, both know that when it comes to the next 100 years or perhaps next many years, if they really want to live together, coexist as equals, India and China have to work together.
Right. Very rightly said. They'll have to work together, and let's hope that this informal summit actually helps India and China to iron out their differences, and that Imran Khan is not really able to achieve much when it comes to raking up the Kashmir issue. For now, thank you so much, Siddhant Sibal, for joining us live from the newsroom. Now, the political stalemate continues in Israel, and as the Likud party head, Benjamin Netanyahu's main rival, Benny Gantz, has cancelled coalition talks abruptly. Blue and White Party chief Gantz has said that the preconditions for the talks were not met. However, the party said that the talks could be rescheduled later this week, and the Likud party has responded by saying that they were stunned by Gantz's decision to blow up negotiations. It has asked Gantz to reconsider his decision. Now remember, no party won a majority in the parliamentary elections that were held last month, and out of the 120 seats in Knesset, Gantz's party won 33 seats, while Netanyahu's party won 32. This is the second election this year where no party has won enough seats to form a coalition. And remember, this has also sparked fears of a third election in the offing, which the president of Israel has been constantly trying to avoid. Israeli President Reuven Rivlin asked Netanyahu to try and form a unity government in order to extend his term as the country's prime minister. Now, the president suggested an equal power-sharing government where the two could serve as prime ministers for 2 years each. But the two parties have not been able to agree on who will be the prime minister. Now, the Blue and White Party does not want an ultra-Orthodox and other right-wing parties to be part of any coalition. If the negotiations fail, Gantz could be given a chance to form a coalition. Israel could also end up having a third snap election somewhere around the time of January next year.